Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. In this episode, we will talk about the possibilities and some crazy approaches our particle editor in CRYENGINE can offer you. We also talk about all the particles you see in our Breeze project, the falling leaves, the fireflies, and the wind lines you see coming from the sea. But that's not it. You maybe want some crazy fur on a cat? We got you covered. Join us for an in-depth talk and some interesting implements of the particle editor in Breeze. By the way, my name is Roma and I'm the technical evangelist. The following video you'll see was live streamed together with our very own explosion artist, Victor Ikes. And if you are new to this series, you might be wondering what you are currently looking at. We made a cool little game project called Breeze and introduced some parts and pieces of Breeze to you in the live streams. You play as a small robot dropped somewhere on a low-poly island, trying to find fuel to fill up your rocket and return from your vacation. During our original stream event, each mechanic in the game was introduced one at a time, including some commentary from our resident developer experts at Crytek, who also work on our very own games. Now we are bringing you all of that and much more, as we are adding step-by-step tutorials to the mix, enabling you to create your own island filled with beautiful low-poly assets and some platforming game mechanics you can enjoy. So let's start with the video. So exactly, Victor created the particles that you can see on our island. He created the wind lines, the seagulls, the fireflies, and also the leaves that are falling off the trees. And today we will be going through those particles, explaining how they are done and what exactly Victor has created here. Sorry, yeah? You wanted to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then we will be answering your questions. So if you want to ask something about the particles, do it right away or in the middle of a stream or whatever. You're free to do whatever you want here. So let's maybe start with the question, how did you approach coming up with those particles? Or what was your workflow?
Well, yeah, first, of course, you look at what is the visual style of the game. Due to this very short time frame that we made this very short demo, there was not a big development on finding the right visuals and everything. It was quite a short process, but since the environment was already pretty much defined how we want the environment to look like, and then the particles came afterwards, I tried to follow the visuals there, but it's in this case it's very vague, and so yeah, that was the first approach. And then you basically think of, like, what do you need for your world to sell the visuals? Like, we need some. We want to have some wind. We want to, of course, at this shoreline, you're gonna have seagulls. You're gonna have flies or fireflies in there, or dragonflies. There's a lot of trees, so of course you're gonna do the standard falling leaves. Yeah, pretty much that was for the environment. Then you look also, of course, which is probably the more important thing, and usually in this case we started both at the same time, but usually you look, of course, at gameplay mechanics first. So we have the jumping mechanic that does need some effect. So yeah, that's as you can see, it's kind of like abstract, comic-looking, blobby smoke, not realistic at all. So yeah, just a very quick one that I did, and pretty much all of these effects are very quick, almost like white box prototype things.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Those are definitely
Yeah.
prototypes, heavy prototypes.
Yeah. So they're not pushing the visuals here, but on a technical side, they are already how you would actually build them, and then you keep polishing.
Yep.
And this is the part that will get you to the next level in terms of visuals. But yeah, of course, you have to have a good foundation, and then you build up on that.
And I think we have a pretty solid foundation here.
Yeah, it's I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's. I then usually sometimes I do small sketches of the effect, what I want it to look like. For this, I just drew some things on some paper. I don't have it it's not worth showing. You just do it for your mental picture. It's it's just to see how it looks on a visual level, and then you just try to recreate it.
So you're just visualizing your thoughts for a second.
Pretty much. Visualizing I can do in my head, but I'm not. You should try to see how it actually looks on a screen or a piece of paper, when it's actually presented to someone else, and then you just double check basically if it actually works how you imagine it in your head, because you're not always correct with your imagination. So yeah, you do that, and then I quickly started some rough prototyping. You of course try to break down on the jumping effect here. It's what do I need? I need some dust, which is going to be in blobby shapes, and of course it's going to have this shockwave structure, so it goes in a ring around the player. And then you need some kind of material like sand that gets thrown up. So you basically, in this effect, you only have two components, but you also can see when you jump up.
Let us just open the components.
Yeah,
the jump dust.
So there is a jump and land. When you jump, it actually takes material with you upwards, and the land is just like a shockwave. Small fine tweaks basically to the effect, but all these things do matter in how you build up your effect, because even the slightest change could mean that you have to build your effect differently. So you have to consider basically all the aspects right from the beginning. If you want to avoid bigger changes in your effect, because of course you try to build your effect as efficient as possible. You want minimum cost on the simulation or simulation and rendering cost basically.
So you want to have as good as possible. So you want to get a really good performance.
You want to achieve the best looks, of course, that you can afford, basically.
Yeah.
And you then try to basically use your cost, your simulation and rendering cost as efficient as possible. If you build an effect that can be generic and can be modified in many ways, you're probably gonna end up wasting some performance on genericness, basically, because usually things are more efficient if they're built for a very special purpose. It's pretty much in everything. So you can do one thing really good, but you can't do anything else. And when talking about these small effects, it's not a big factor, but when when you work on a lot of games, you just have this thing in your head that you really want to do it as efficient as possible, just to avoid, cost basically.
There's a question from Game Dev Made Easy. How do you calculate simulation costs of particle effects?
There's a debug mode. If you go into the console, so if you do e-particles profiler. Particles profiler. Yeah, keep going. No, just go into profiler.
If I type, yep, nothing. Oh no, it's up there. It's up there. Oh, sorry. Yep, there it is.
No, that's the wrong one. This particles profile is the one for PFX1, and particles profiler, yes, this one.
There we go.
Is for PFX2.
I will deactivate the other one.
Yeah, just go profile 0.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so here you can see all the particles running in your level. I think there's also Siva for exclusively just use one. But in the end, you can just go to your section in your level, just place one particle, and you will have the cost of the particle listed there. You can see total simulation time, how much it takes for each component in your particle. So you're gonna have quite precise reading of how much the simulation costs. These total timing, this is on the CPU, and then the rendering is should be the GPU cost. And yeah, active total is pretty much how many individual particles this emitter has spawned, I think. Okay. So yeah, that's like the first thing that you can look at. There's also I think this will go too deep into if you use BP frames. Maybe we should have some debugging tutorial at some point, how to analyze BP frames.
Yeah, we will do that in a session, I think, on Tuesday, but I'm not sure. So we will have a debugging session, and we will definitely go through all of this.
If you then look into BP frames and then you analyze a frame, you can actually see into individual cores. There will be all these features that you see in the particle on the right. Each individual feature will then be listed as a single call in the frame dump, so you can see really detailed how much cost does a thing do on your platform. It's of course very platform specific. If you develop on a console, then of course some things will be more costly. Things like turbulence, all these noise operations that are just expensive. And yeah.
It is Tuesday, Roman. Yeah, Alex, sorry. Thursday.
So yeah, I hope this. Of course. This is only the simulation cost, of course. You can also put some of the particles you can put into GPU particles. Then you will have to see how much GPU time it takes. Usually, everything done in the simulation is on the CPU, unless you tell them to do in the GPU. Since they're multi-threaded, it's totally fine to use them on GPU. Because usually you have a lot of cores nowadays, and you have a lot of time, calculation time on the cores, and it will just get threaded and it's totally fine. You don't waste actual rendering time, or you don't take away rendering time from your GPU to simulate particles. Yes. So if you showed the profiler here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you bring up the profile again, so I can
profiler
just
2 or 1?
Profiler 2.
Okay. Yep, there we go.
If you now go to a particle somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, here. If you look up, where is it? It's forward Z. No, it's forward Z. No, it's forward T. Left bottom part above the post effects HDR. Yeah. So this is forward transparency. This is pretty much your rendering cost. Everything transparent. So here you can just judge your screen pretty much on. Usually you don't have too much transparency going on. If your scene, of course, is heavily built with other transparent things, you can look it up. But then you can also just hide particles and unhide them again. And then you actually see how much they cost in your scene, because it does matter where you place the particle, how much it will cost. It may interact with more lights. It may be blocked by other geometry. So you of course test performance in the scene how you would actually use it in the game. So basically, you just look for the forward transparency, and this is pretty much your cost. You can see right now it's 0.05 milliseconds. And this is pretty much the rendering cost for the particles on the screen right now. It will, of course, scale. You should use proper resolutions. It will be affected by resolution of a lot.
Okay.
The more pixels you draw, the more.
Yeah, that makes sense. And there's another question, actually a long one. I will try to read it as understandable as possible. If you utilize multiple textures, for instance, if you land on grass, the texture resolves a green explosion as opposed to sand, which has a brown explosion. Is this pre-rendered, or does it render real-time? Meaning, if you have 20 different possible effects for landing on different textures, does it have to call all 20 or just one you require? Sorry, I'm probably wording that all. No. I think we get what you were asking, right? So if you have, for example, the jump animation that we currently have right now.
Yeah.
If you would, let me just delete the profiler. If I would jump here, you have the sand, right? The blobs and the dust. It's yellowish, or it's beige, I think, like whitish, right? But if I go on something green, the jump maybe, or you could create, or if you even able to change that, and make it green.
We haven't set up this here yet. This effect is pretty much hard-coded. You also saw that on the platforms it's the same effect. But of course, you can do. You can set up this in a way that it will be surface specific. There's multiple ways, of course. You can do it in your game logic. So pretty much every time you land or jump, you shoot a raycast, check the material, what surface type it is, and then you design some kind of logic in your code that would pick different effects from the surface type, or you can utilize the MFX effect, which does happen pretty much on every collision. So there is a if you bring up docs CRYENGINE, the MFX library.
There is a problem. I have a bug apparently that I cannot get into. Oh, wait, I can. Okay, the bug is resolved. No bugs here. No bugs at all. What should I type in?
The MFX library. MFX. No, but it's MFX. Wait.
Wait, we will
type in MFX. Material effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called material effects.
Got it. So,
yeah, this is pretty much a description of how to use the MFX tech. It's a lot of things. You basically define your surface types that you can choose then in your material editor for each material. You then set this to be sand or leaves or anything that you want. This you can also do on the terrain material, of course. And then each time two collisions happen, when something from wood would collide with something from sand, made of sand, this collision will call these MFX. And there is a database that you have to fill out where you choose what will happen. If wood would collide with sand, what should be the effect? What effect should be spawned and at the point of the collision? And then you can set up, of course, as many effects as you want. You don't need to have everything in one effect. You don't need to spawn like you don't need to spawn the 20 types that you need and then blend in between or something. You can have a very individual effect for each. You can use attributes on the particles. So if you say like, I have sand and I have wet sand, they are very much similar. So you can reuse the same particle, but maybe with some other attribute, some slightly different color or a slightly different gravity or whatever you can do. You can affect that with an attribute. So, yeah. I hope this answered this question. Otherwise,
sorry for interrupting. I think that pretty much answers the question. It's can you define particles in code only instead of using the particle editor? And yeah, 100% answered. That's awesome.
Sorry, what was define particles in code?
Yeah, only. Can you define particles in code only instead of using the particle editor?
So basically, build up your particle from scratch.
I think that's what Game Dev Made Easy mean. Can you expand on that, please? That would be awesome. Hey, Lord James Delaney, nice name. So you create an XML database and then use the plugin to create the code. Nice. That's much better than the way other engines handle it. Awesome to hear. Yeah. Okay. Maybe until Game Dev Made It Easy or Game Dev Made Easy expand on that question. We can go through, for example, I think this is a simple one, right? Like the dragonfly, the single one.
Yeah. It's not the simplest one. Simplest one would be the falling leaves, I guess.
Oh yeah. Maybe we can do
maybe
that.
Start with the falling leaves. It's just to get started.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. Let's go here. Yep, there are no falling leaves, so we can open it up from my palm. And we will put it a bit up here so we can see the falling leaves fallen.
Yeah.
Okay. And the graph is here.
Yeah. So yeah, this node we call a component. It's pretty much a particle emitter, or some other engines call it particle system. So this is one individual emitter that spawns multiple particle sprites in this case. So it could be a ribbon, it could be mesh. So there is it could be a decal. And then the spawn rate in this case, it could be, there's different spawn methods, defines how many you spawn. In this case, I just spawn 1 per second.
Let's just spawn 5 a second. Oh, let's just go crazy.
Yeah. So usually this is what I do in the beginning. because of course you don't want to wait for subtle effects to just randomly appear each second. You want to tweak things very fast. So I ramp up the amount very high, and then after I'm done tweaking the effect, I go very low. You can go quite high numbers.
What numbers should I go? Tell me, give me a good number.
You can try maybe. I don't want to crash it.
Okay, 1,500. Let's go. I don't care.
I don't think it will crash.
No.
I have never seen it crash just from count. So
1,500.
Yeah. So
should we go higher?
I think you can go 5,000 maybe.
5,000. Okay, I wanted to go 15,000. Let's say 5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And now let's activate physical collision.
No, better don't do that. So yeah, you can see already the turbulence going on, and this is the kind of turbulence that looks very nice, but is expensive.
Yeah, of course it is.
In this case, it doesn't really matter because you have such small counts on the leaves, so you just spend a couple of nanoseconds there. But of course, if you have 5,000 of these, it will cost you a lot on the CPU. But this is the kind of turbulence this simplex or simplex curl. It's very effective on GPU in high counts, but I would not recommend you use this GPU particles on this effect, because while GPU particles are very effective when you have multiple thousands of them in one emitter, they are very bad actually, or not as good. I'm not saying not as good, but they will spend way more time than they use when spawned in one emitter if you use a lot of emitters. Because they can't do it in parallel anymore, because there's different conditions, and you spawn the same effect with very high numbers, but you spawn it from different emitters, so it has to go from emitter to emitter to emitter and can't do everything at once. So you spend a lot of time there in calculation, and it just takes. It's really for this small effects really not worth going for GPU. You will just draw from your rendering performance, basically. So, yeah. We next, probably just continue further. Yes, this is not in a random order, of course, how you set it up. In these features, you can move up and down. I tend to structure my things, so you basically have like, what do you spawn, how much do you spawn, how long does it last, and then what is actually, how does it look like. So I go from top to bottom basically like that. It's just easier to structure things and then finding things.
There is one question.
Yes.
Is that gravity based? I thought it was a simple timed movement.
This is gravity based. As you can see in this component, there is no feature that has a velocity. You can add a velocity if you just right click for velocity all the way down.
Oh, there is. Yes.
Just directional. It's the easiest one. So. And then just use a high number there and maybe not the z-axis, but on a different axis, just y or something. So yeah, now it shoots them out, but then gravity will pull them down. Yep. They also do have drag. So this is if you have some windy situation. You can use that, but you can also just utilize the wind from your level. It actually does that. If you go into the physics feature, you can see that it has If you would just close the modifiers, we come to them later, I think.
Which modifiers?
Just collapse the modifiers on the right. On the curve on the right, right. In the physics properties. No.
Oh,
right.
Gosh. Yeah. Sorry.
I come back to the modifiers in a second. It's just easier to understand. So basically, it has some gravity scale. So it takes 0.5 of the 0.75. Yes.
Yeah, that's the usual. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how much it takes from the gravity. It's highly tweakable, of course. You don't want to just like fall with full gravity against the floor. It will use whatever gravity is present in the scene. So if you...
Our typical gravity is, I think, the normal Earth gravity, right?
Yeah, it's
minus 9.81.
So yeah, if you change this gravity, or if you happen to be in a gravity volume where you have zero gravity or something, it will also pick up the right gravity for the scene. So the particle will behave correctly for the location it's spawned in. Same goes for drag. So basically, you have a drag of 1. You can have any number in there except minus values. High drag will, of course, just slow down the particles a lot. The only force pushing them right now is the gravity, the turbulence, and you can see under the drag we have a level wind scale, which if you use a high number there, maybe like not too much, 5, 5 or 10.
Is it a high number?
Yeah, you can see it will be pushed from the wind. This is also depending on your environment setup in your level. How much wind do you have in your scene? How much what wind volumes do you place? If you have some wind going in specific areas that has higher wind, the particles will follow accordingly. So there's pretty much that simple thing that does this. And then the only thing, if you disable the turbulence, you can see what the turbulence actually does. If you go down turbulence, if you just disable that, you can see that they would just fall basically, and the turbulence just adds some nice movements to fake some.
So how you would expect that in real life?
Yeah, some movement that you would get from the drag of and the curvature of your object falling. And then, of course, it's artistic choice how you tweak these numbers. Now we maybe can go back to if you open the modifier panel. So
yeah, wait, let me set the proper gravity value. I set it down to -1.
Yeah.
Now we have the gravity value or the expanded modifier, which is curve.
Yeah. So on not on each value, but on most of the values, you can apply a modifier. This modifier will take a certain input and then multiply the number with the output of the modifier. So this curve takes the age of the particle and then slows down. So the closer it gets to the longer the particle lives, the less gravity it experiences. It's just to have some nice effect that they actually fall and then they basically tumble through the air and slow down. That's the effect I tried to achieve there. You can, if you just add like a point on the curve in the curve editor and then just in the middle go like really negative, you will see that they will be pushed up. Go further negative, like it. Just zoom out a bit. Yeah, you can see that you can modify this over time. So whatever you want to do.
So they will first
with the gravity there. You can also, of course, have a different input from. You don't really need to have the age there. You can have it an exposed value that you then set by game code or something. You can take global values like the time of day or something like that. There's a lot of things that you can get as an input for your curve, or it can be a linear modifier or a noise modifier, or whatever. There's many types of modifiers to choose from.
Oh, this looks really awesome. Yeah, and then we have the drag one, right? Oh, wait, I think we have a few questions. Yeah, people want to see GPU particles. I think we can show this. Show one example after that. I think we should have examples, right?
Not in the presets, I think.
Okay.
But we can quickly build one.
Yeah.
But I mean, they won't look different.
Yeah.
They will look exactly the same. They will be just higher counts.
So to save, there's another question. So to save CPU, we would remove the motion physics and simply do a velocity, or would this consume similar CPU?
Sorry, what you would take?
So to save on CPU, we could remove the motion physics node and replace it with a velocity.
Yes, you could do that. I think if you do like gravity scale and drag to 0, if you delete the motion physics, it will kind of recreate it in the backend, but it won't do anything with it. So it's kind of like in the backend, it is required to keep track of the velocity. But yeah, of course, if you don't have like anything that you have to consider physics for like drag or gravity, but these are very cheap. Gravity and drag are very cheap. You have to be like really desperately harvesting performance if you want to disable them. So you could do that. I don't know how much you will gain from it though.
So you have to be really, really fighting for every frame.
Yeah, it's not like for every frame even. It will be it's just will be nanoseconds that you save.
So okay, yeah, that seems about plausible, and I think here you just I think most of the fields or most of the I think components. How do you call them? Like in this.
So the component is the node itself is the component, and then the individual pieces in there are features.
Oh, features. Okay.
Yeah, and you add as many features as you want. There is no limitations. There is of course you don't have like 5 materials features on the stack on the component, because it will only use one. It can only do one material. It will allow you to add 2 materials, which is very great. So if you can do that.
So here in material.
Yeah, just add a new one. Like.
Okay.
It's a really nice workflow feature. I do like that. So if you. It's appearance. Oh yeah, appearance and
material, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a second.
If you go with this one, and then you pick a texture here.
A texture. Okay, which one? Does it matter which one?
Go textures, sprites. Yeah. Oh, textures. Go textures.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Take like the glowing ball or something. Glow.
Okay. Glow A.
Yeah. And if you disable the first one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how it switched to this texture now? And then you can just enable the other one and disable this one that we have right now. So you can quickly switch between versions and try something out. And then if you don't like it, you just switch it back.
So wait, for example, I don't, or correct me if that's wrong, but you could you make this material a setting on an entity? A variable?
Sadly, no, not yet. It is on my requested list. to Scott, our programmer for this one. But the list is big.
The list is huge, yeah.
So it might come someday. But actually, you can do that. Not as comfortably though.
Not as comfortably, okay.
Yeah. It's if you would select the particle emitter right now in the level.
Yes.
Yes. And you go into the properties.
There we go. Yeah.
So now in the properties, you will see that there is emitter features, which will give you the same list that you can add on a component. And here you can just add appearance material and pick a texture again. Pick like something. It doesn't matter. Can you disable and enable the flag again on the properties? No, sorry. Disable and enable again. And
but maybe we need to take something that's obvious, like the glow again. I think that was pretty visible.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if we deactivate it here,
yes.
We can still assign a texture to this panel over here. So
yes.
What I was, what I wanted to talk on is, you could actually have one particle, but if you multiply it and you add it somewhere here, and just on this one entity, you could be, or you would be able to change the texture on it. And
exactly.
Then, okay. Will this save some performance?
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But that's nice. But then you don't need to recreate multiple particles. That's actually pretty useful, I think.
It might save some performance in future, but right now you don't gain anything from it.
Yeah, but again, that's as D12 Duke said, it's great for prototyping.
Yes, and also if you do the duplication again.
Yeah. Wait.
And in the properties.
Yeah.
You see that there is radius and rate.
Mm-hmm.
And these are exposed values that I did from the particle. So here you can change these values for each instance of the particle. So you can ramp up the rate and select, oh, here in this area I need more leaves. You spawn more. And these are not specific values though. Like these are user-defined things, and they do whatever the user wants them to do. So if you go back to the particle now, and if you go to maybe physics, well, I actually can show first where it's actually created. If you go top left, the gear, yes. So here you can just define any like attribute. You can just add more attributes. You can use a certain type. You can name it how you want it to be named. And then don't change the name because they're used already.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think it doesn't lose. I think it does rename them correctly, but yeah, of course, you should not rename.
I was so scared for a second.
So yeah, you can have like min-max values, so you can basically limit the designers that then place the effects in your level. You can say, oh, this you should not go over 5. So you can have a min-max value there on the radius. So just like over 5, it doesn't make sense anymore. So, and yeah, you can do that. This is how you create them. First, when you create them, they don't do anything. Now, on the radius, it's quite easily. If you go to the location sphere feature, the blue one left on the component.
Oh, on the component,
yeah. Location sphere, one above.
Yep.
Yeah. See, this one has a radius of 1, but it's then just multiplied by the attribute, and the attribute's name is radius. So you basically just put whatever.
So I could create a new attribute.
Exactly. You can still have as many modifiers as you want, and then we can maybe show that that you don't really have to use it as a radius if you go now to the physics, maybe.
Yeah.
Function physics, and now on the gravity scale, you just add a curve, or let's go linear.
Okay.
Yeah. And you don't do H, you go attribute. And you should now see that the one that spawns more should have more gravity than the one on the left that should spawns less.
Yeah.
It's very subtle, but you can do the domain scale. You can maybe multiply it by 5 or something. Because the one on the left still has 1. It's still a lot. But
wait. But I think we just simply did. It's not exposed yet, right?
No, there's just go physics. I thought you picked up the rate. Oh, sorry. You picked the rate. Here, yes, exactly. Sorry. And this is go back to main scale to 1, because the one on the right is now very fast falling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, you can control with this one value. You can control multiple things now.
This is really awesome, yeah.
And this is also just very good for the actual final effect, and this is also very good for prototyping if you have multiple components that you want to tweak and find a certain value. So you don't want to go from component to component to components and change the gravity. You can just expose this gravity to a variable, basically, and then you can use this. And you can also see your effect in your level in all the different configurations that you're going to end up using it. And you tweak the effect in all configurations at the same time.
This could, like, if I actually look at this picture here, this could be a postcard or something. This looks awesome.
Animated postcard.
Animated postcard, yeah.
Yeah. It's missing cats.
I'm so sorry. It's definitely missing cats.
Can we add a cat, please?
I will definitely add some cats after this. Or if you could recreate a cat right now with using only sprites or GPU particles. No, not sprites.
Can I do that?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I can, but it will take some time.
Haven't you recreated like a full face, a human face, within the particle editor using just only? Please tell me.
Yeah, I only did wave functions, sine wave functions, and curves. I don't have it ready to, like, I know. I have it. I have it somewhere, but I don't have it ready to show. But
I saw it, and it's
with
awesome.
the modifier stack, you can pretty much just stack on one offset. You just use like one on. I want to move a thing on the x-axis, and then you keep stacking modifiers on top of each other, so they just multiply with each other, and then you can create pretty much any shape you want.
Yeah.
So the only thing that then limits you is sorting issues on your sprites. But even that, if you go to like opaque rendering, you can pretty much like do recreate geometry, basically.
Well, yeah. That's. I think, for my opinion, that's really insane that you can just recreate geometry here. Yeah, this is. It's awesome and insane.
Yeah, I'm preparing some more presets So there would be some more crazy feature abuse.
Yeah, that's what you call it. That's definitely feature abuse. Okay, and I think the good part about having all of these features, they are pretty self-explanatory. Like if you click on field size, like if you just start with doing particles, you could get like basic stuff and basic particles really fast. Like, I mean, it's called size. So what do you expect here? It's just the value or the size of the object. If you type 2, the object will be huge.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's of course a lot of things that are not as self-explanatory for people who are just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know the concept of how a particle system works, and you've been using some kind of particle system before, or you already understand the concept, then a lot of the things will make sense and will be very familiar to you, and you will know what to expect from it. There is not really too many engine-specific things going on. There is, of course, how we handle terrain, that you can project on terrain or something. That's things that are specific to the engine, just because we do have a terrain system. But many engines do that as well. So you just want your physics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's now.
Then make it bounce, please.
Oh, how do I make it? Wait.
Elasticity.
Yeah. Okay, that's way too hard. Yeah. Now it's raining leaves. Awesome. Yeah, I love the physics here. Yeah, this looks cool. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, not at all. That's what usually happens when you play with the particle editor.
Yeah,
you get dragged away, and then you have some cool stuff that you want to just discover and play around with. Yeah. It's you will need some self-control and discipline if you want to finish something.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, this is just a lot of fun playing with it. Okay, yeah, let's continue. Let's not get dragged away. Yeah, of course we have the lighting. The lighting is a really interesting thing. You can do a lot of things with it, right?
Yes. So there is two different methods, of course. Not really methods. One is how much does the particle take from the scene, how much light it takes from the scene, and how much does it emit itself. Emitting in terms of like material emittance, glow, and it does not emit a light source. You can add light sources, of course. We can see it then on the fireflies. Mm-hmm. But here it will just make the material glow. This is pretty much the same as in the material setup, the emittance amount.
Yeah, so we can even...
you will get all the features that the engine does with glow. There's the bloom around it, depending on your environment setting, of course. So all of that you will just get automatically from the emittance. If you could switch back to the day setting, yes.
Yep.
And if you could just disable the material for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to physics and maybe remove the modifier that on the
collision.
Yeah, you can remove the collision, but also remove the modifier on that we added from the attribute.
Oh yeah.
So it's not falling like crazy.
That the engine did
pretty
like
good.
that.
Yeah, it's no issue on the removing of the modifiers.
A big no on removing modifiers.
You can just click on the curve and set it to null, and it will be removed safely.
Yeah.
Or just use the enable flag. Just disable the modifier, and then it will not crash.
Yeah. There's also a question.
I hope this will be fixed in the next hotfix.
There's a question from...
I know it's fixed already in main, but...
yeah, main. Where were we? I think we were environment... Yeah. I didn't save that at all, so it should be fine. It's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So the question that was asked was, can I attach particles to the ocean edge to create advanced form?
Yes and no.
That's okay. Yes and no.
First, you have to find the ocean edge, which is not the particle's job. How the ocean edge is done here is not really much an ocean, because I think we don't use the actual ocean, right? It's just some piece of geometry that is just there. Yeah. So it's not actual water and anything. So you would need to find the intersection plane or something. You could, of course, hand draw a shape. If you go to create object, and yes, you go area, and you go shape, and if you just quickly draw a shape that goes along the shoreline.
Along the shoreline, okay, wait.
You failed already.
Yep, it's not that easy to draw a shape. But let's just make a short one.
No, don't go around. It needs to be like just a line following the shoreline.
Oh, just a line. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I failed again.
It should not be closed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're still in the creation mode.
Yeah, I am, but I need to.
You can just fix that. Just double click. Done.
Okay.
Of course, you want to reset height, because there's probably some height from the creation. Yes. You want to uncheck the closed feature. Yes. So now, if you go to the asset browser, and we just quickly create a material, quickly create an
particle
effect. Yes, just create a particle.
Wait. I will not go into asset browser. I will create it just here.
Yeah.
Particle, and let's call it. Yeah.
And now don't drag it into the scene, but on the properties of the shape. The properties of the shape.
Oh yeah, sorry.
If you go to the properties panel, yeah. Now with the shape selected, if you scroll down all the way, add component, and now you add a particle component on this shape.
Yeah.
And now you do the effect. You spawn the particle, shoreline, yes. And now you will see that the particle will spawn where your emitter is. Where your pivot is.
Yep, there it is.
And if you go now into a particle effect, and you add a feature, location geometry, it will spawn on the shape now. If you just go and make the rate really high, you will see that it will spawn on this shape, and you can also on the location geometry there is an orient to normal, exactly. And now if you give it velocity directional, and not on the z-axis, but I think it should be the x-axis. I think it's the x. Oh no, it is the y. Yeah. Oh no, you need to create a subparticle first, but it is possible with some more tweaks to the spawning to actually get the rotation of the normal as well. It will you will need to create a subparticle basically, and yes, with this technique you could. Then, of course, if you go into render sprite, you don't want render sprite. You don't want to screen facing. You want them to be use the free, and now if you go to align and add an align feature, angles align. Yeah. So you do that, and then you go normal should world should look upwards. Yes, and then you add another line. You can have multiple lines. So then you use the not normal, the particle axis on the top one. Yeah, you do the forward, and you go velocity, and now you basically aligned the particles to the velocity.
This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, and now you can start adding that they go into one direction and then they stop and then falling back or something. So
you know what? We should just try it because, gosh, where is material?
Yeah.
Appearance? Yeah. Material, and then we should have a texture.
I don't know how the texture was created. I haven't done the...
Yeah, right. But just as an example, maybe we could...
I mean, just check the object folder. It should have the ocean texture somewhere.
Yeah, the problem is it's
it's down there. Oh, the last texture.
Oh, there it is. Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, there we go. Yeah, there it is now.
Yeah.
We can, of course, now we can go. I would actually like to do it just like you, just to have everything sorted properly and sizes. We can just increase the size. 5 or something just to test it, and the rate is way too high. Let's say, 20. But yeah.
Yeah, and then you can reuse this particle, of course, on each shoreline, and then you just paint with an area there. You could also, I'm not sure about this, but technically you could maybe write some code that would detect the edges.
Yeah, but
and create shapes, and then just add a particle on the shape, and then you would basically have the same effect.
Yeah,
but done automatically.
There is also a question, would it be possible to create particles with custom shaders and pass certain particle parameters like velocity and size into the shader itself using vertex data?
Yes, it's pretty much what... velocity and size, I'm not sure how the velocity is handled. The size definitely will end up in the shader. You can write a custom particle shader, and there is... in the vertex shader, there is I forgot what you get, but you will definitely get the size and everything from it. So yes, you can create a custom shader there.
Okay.
It's I don't think it will fit right now into the stream to go through, because it's
no, I think it's a bit too much.
It's a bit more technical, but yeah, it's basically you just take the current particle shader and modify it to do whatever you want.
Yep.
And you can just create in your asset folder, create a folder called game shaders, and you just put it there, and then you can pick it, and you can yes, you can. What I did once, I did pass because I did not need the vertex or the field color. I was basically using the RGB channels and alpha for completely different things on the custom shader. You can do that, so you get pretty much 4 curves for free. Oh, well, it's not for free. You lose color, but you can set up the color. Usually you don't want to animate the color anyway. So
okay. Yep. The answer was
there will
the question was answered.
I can already announce it maybe for 5.7 that there will be a massive shader update on the particle shader. I did add a lot of features.
So in the upcoming engine update, there
yes.
will be, okay, cool. That's really nice.
There will be a lot of new features on the shader itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you create complete game characters out of shaders? Ooh, that's a great question.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what the engine does already. But of course, you can just create whatever you want in a shader. Oh, you meant particles. Yes, create complete game characters out of particles. That's pretty much how we started the Spaces thing.
Oh yeah. I had the jingle song for that. Spaces.
Yeah, you can add.
But it's now called Galaxsys, right?
Galaxsys, yes.
Yeah.
All. Yeah, we started with these enemies there. They are pretty much all particles. They do use a mesh component though, I think, on the actual entity, but you could just move the mesh component into the particle.
Oh, Nick, sorry. Yeah. Just pasted the link twice. Yeah, it's an awesome project. I think who did work on it? I think you, Jeremy, right? In the end, Alexander?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just really fun, small game that you should definitely check out. Go to the link that Nick and I posted, and you can download it right away and explore the code, explore the particles, explore everything that we created here. It's just awesome.
Yeah, pretty much everything that you see there is particles.
Yep.
Except the mesh components, but as I said, you could just move the mesh component inside the particle. There is nothing stopping you. You can just do that, and then it would look exactly the same. Maybe
that you can announce that you guys working on Galaxsys 2 will be released in 2022 on PlayStation 6 or something.
Probably DEFCON. Yeah, DEFCON 2022.
Yeah, next DEFCON Galaxsys 2.
Yeah.
How do you move a mesh inside of a particle?
If you just create a particle component in the particle.
Here?
Oh, it's not really a move. You just create the mesh. But yeah, you pick the default mesh preset. You can build it from scratch, but that's pretty much it. And then on random mesh, you just pick the geometry.
How do I do that? Oh, right. Here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's go with
boat.
A boat. A boat is always a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, now you should already have it on behind you on the.
There it is.
There it is. You can give it some velocity or drag, like gravity or something. Anti-gravity boat.
No.
It doesn't reset because it has a spawn rate. It keeps spawning, and it does live for a second, and then now you have 5 boats.
Yeah, I have a lot of boats, to be honest. And now we have a lot of boats spawning.
Nick does request cats.
Yep, because Nick.
Can you open up Paint 3D?
Wait. I don't think I got that.
Everyone has Paint 3D.
Yeah, Paint 3D, there we go.
Yes. Make a new one. Yeah. Go 3D form.
It doesn't do anything. No.
Yeah. Click on that.
Oh, no, there it is.
Click it. Why is it so slow? Oh, it is the bibliothek top. Oh, yeah, you can use the Katze. Yeah, yes, use it.
Katze?
Yes. Just drag it here. Perfect.
Okay, wait. Can I export it as an FBX?
Yes. Go menu.
Yeah.
Speichern unter 3D model.
Wait, I'm going to do
Make it purple. Nick requests purple. I also agree.
We can do it purple.
I want purple cat.
Okay.
Thing is gone.
Yeah,
Why do you hide the cat from us? Why do you hide the cat from us? Bring back the cat.
Wait. The cat is here. The cat is here. I just need to.
I want to see the Katze.
The Katze kommt gleich. When I go save it, 3D model. Yeah, there we go. But that's okay, perfect. Now it works. Okay, I have it there. Let's open the. We need the asset browser for this stuff. For this kind of action, for this kind of thing, we need the asset browser. Let's just attach it for here for a second, and let's go to objects because we need a proper folder for this cat.
Katze.
Yeah. Awesome.
Katze. With a D, with a G.
I have it now with a D and S.
D-S-E.
Awesome Katze. Okay. Now let me look for the file. There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Katze.
You will need to. It will be very small. Just go into the importer, double click, set it to meters. So it's like It comes out very small from the Paint 3D.
We're double clicking on it. We're going here, scale to meters, save it, go out, and there's the cat.
Oh, look at it! It's the cat.
It's a small one. We still going to maximize it a little bit, and now we go into here and say the color should be purplish and reduce the smoothness.
No, it doesn't need smoothness.
I'm so sorry. This cat needs to be smooth as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
Okay, this cat has smoothness now.
Excellent. And now spawn it in the particle.
That's a great idea. Awesome, Katze. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's small. We need to adjust the size to 5. Now we have big cat. Big catto. Make the fur particles. Well, that's a little too much. Will there be a stream about creating custom shaders? Maybe in the far future, but I don't want to promise anything now. I think if you join our Discord, I would definitely recommend to propose this on our Discord so we can actually write it down and remember it. Yeah. Actually, that works the same way the waves do. What do you mean, Sunlock? Yeah, if one of our mods could please post the Discord link.
Oh, you want to do? He wants to spawn fur on the katze.
On the katze, okay. Oh.
Yeah. Go to do we do it in the particle itself or? Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe we need to create a new particle.
Yeah, just make an individual particle.
Yeah, let's go away from those waves.
Yeah, we don't want to break our perfectly created waves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Katze with fur.
Yes, this is how you. Now you can delete this one, or default mesh immortal. Use the immortal setting.
I got it.
I can explain what it does. The immortal one, it does have in the count. If you click on spawn count.
Yes.
You can see it only spawns one with a duration of 0. It just means the emitter is active for 0 time. It just instantly spawns 1. And then it has the lifetime if you click on lifetime. It's set to infinite, so the mesh persists all the time. And then the motion move relative to emitter. Oh, it actually does a bounce slide.
Yeah, that's what RGI does.
No, but this is coming. This is your mesh. Is it the particle already?
Yes.
Okay. I was. I'm impressed with that.
We need Easter eggs about cats in Crytek games. Yeah.
Okay. Now actually create another component.
Yeah. Which one?
Default sprite. Just any.
Yeah.
Yes, and now link them together.
Yeah. Oh, I would have a question to you. Do you have Easter eggs, cat-related Easter eggs in Hunt?
Yes.
That's all I wanted to hear. I just wanted to yes. I don't want any explanation. People should find the Easter eggs themselves. But that's nice.
Now use location geometry on this. Yeah. Location geometry and set. Yeah, this is already set up fine. Mm-hmm. If you ramp up the rate a bit.
Spawn rate?
Yeah. 50.
50, okay.
Yeah. I think you need to resort the particle because you changed the hierarchy.
Yeah, sure.
Just in the properties, just disable and enable again.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Now, of course, you should make the size a bit smaller.
0.1. Yeah, this looks about right.
This is about right, yes. Perfect for simulation.
Now we need, I think, a material, correct?
Yes.
Let's find something that looks like fur. Maybe no, I don't know.
We're unprepared for this.
Yeah. Maybe something like this, so we can.
You can make it can you close it? We don't actually need it.
Oh, okay.
Can you go on the render sprite?
Yeah.
No, that's spawn rate. Render sprite. Aspect ratio, and make it like 0.01 or something. Or a bit thicker, maybe 0.05.
Yeah, this looks good.
And now switch to not screen facing, but free. Yes, and now more of that, please. Spawn rate.
Yeah, let's say.
Do you need to restart it again?
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I need to restart it.
Yes.
Everybody knows cats look like that. I agree.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's yeah. It takes the wrong normal there.
So how would we change that?
I don't think you can do. This is a bug that's also fixed.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
It is already fixed in main, but it snuck in the latest version.
So we have some fur now, but I think it's not enough fur.
Yeah, make it 5,000.
I would need to
restart. You can add the lighting feature.
Yeah. Let's go after. Let's say no. This will
appearance.
Yeah. And lighting.
Yeah, and now you get some backlighting, some backlight 0.5 maybe.
Yeah.
So you get some fake light transmission through the fur. You should add field size maybe, because the fur color does not match the cat. Should maybe field color. Sorry.
After field color, and we take the same-ish color.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yes, that's about right. Furry cat.
Not enough. 50,000.
I think 50,000 won't work. I mean, it will work, but it's actually, yeah.
Yeah, this looks like fur now. But, I mean, what do you expect from 50,000? Of course it will be.
Yeah, make them GPU. Yeah, there's an issue with that. The GPU does not get the location of the geometry, because right now only the CPU can read it out from the actual mesh. It's not exposed to the GPU yet.
But this freaking looks like fur. If we add enough of it, this looks a bit of fur. Yeah. So there you go. You can create actual fur with particles. Guts. But can it run guts? Yeah.
Yes, it can.
Oh, this is awesome. Now, the thing is, we can now add this particle to our character, and the katze will follow us.
You could make that, yes.
Yeah. But I think that will be a little bit out of scope for this stream. We also, we were close to the end. Yeah, we're having too much fun playing with the particle editor. This is so amazing.
I mean, we can do more requests if there's still people want to see how to do things.
Yeah. So that's why collision don't work for spawning GPU particles.
Yes, because the collision is done in the physics thread, and there is a screen space collision that should work on the GPU particles. It's a very cheap one as well. But as long as you don't see, if you don't see the objects, it didn't work. Okay, I shall write this down and try it out. Last time I checked, it was working. Maybe it's also some setup issue. I don't know.
This looks awesome. Before the ending, I demand a medal to the guy who made the tutorials. Which tutorial? Yeah, exactly. And make a magic effect, maybe an ice ball. The thing is, yeah, we are not really prepared for this kind of stuff. I think I tried actually to do a magic effect just in my free time. And yeah, you have to do a lot of preparing, like this magical signs and so on, and Photoshop or whatever. But maybe you can come up with something.
Magic effect like ice ball. Yeah, it's there's many things that you can do. That's what usually are like in the beginning. If you don't know what to do, you spend up a lot of time in figuring out what you want to do. So if it's a more precise effect, defined like what does this ice ball do? Just hovering around, smashing into something. But then again, I don't think we will manage to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
in this short time,
we can just show.
We have 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
as I see. Yeah.
Maybe some advanced. Some advanced stuff that I can. Oh, there we go. I just used the wrong button. Roman has made some tutorials, but there are also other people like Brian and more. Yep, exactly. Okay, let's just see.
But there will be more. Like in 5.7, I want to include a lot of more presets. Also going into this road of having some more magical things. Right now you see like there is like impacts or sparks or very generic things. I want to do a bit more gamey things as well, so you can start creating things easily with certain setups, and this comes with a change as well that we do to how the presets will work. It will be very easy for you to create your own presets and also have multiple components in one preset, so you can have a pretty much completely done effect with multiple components will be in one preset that you can just right click add, and you can very easily have presets in your own project that you keep reusing and then keep rebuilding, so you can just save that as a preset.
Yeah, I'm just playing around here. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah, make it blue, and then we claim to have done the magical ice effect.
I completely agree. Wait, no, this is not the one we need. Oh, you know what? No, we will use this. We just make... yeah, that's fine. Light, no, we need color.
You can copy the color on the other nodes as well. Just copy the feature, then select the component and just paste.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. We have a magical ice effect, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you guys have further questions before we end this stream? On the level editor, I see something with an exclamation mark. What does that mean? In the level editor? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean here? The exclamation mark means it's just the sequence. Since a sequence that you create in TrackView is not a real object or an entity, it will be just shown here in the Level Explorer, in the layers, inside the particle layers, as this icon over here. It's the mystical endgame. Yeah, not today, but maybe tomorrow. Yeah. There will be a t-shirt giveaway. Yeah, so again, guys, if you have any questions regarding the particles, ask them. I think we have 1 or 2 minutes to spare for the questions. But then we have to go, we have to run, guys. We have to things to do and people to meet and stuff to do.
There is always the Discord.
Yeah, of course.
If you write in the Discord, there is a VFX channel. You can just ping me as well if you if you have something really, if no one else can help you. I try to look there, but sometimes I just get for a long time not to look into it. So it's okay to ping me there in the VFX channel.
I really hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. And if you are new here, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes we prepared for you. And before I go, also one thing that's important to mention. In the video description, you will be able to find our social media links, of course, but also our very own Discord channel. So if you want to join an awesome community, you can do that. Share your art, ask some interesting questions, or just be there, or be square. Okay guys, see you in the next one. Bye bye.